Friends, welcome back. I am quite excited today because there are some new things in Raid Shadow Legends that I wasn't expecting. And if you've been following the series, you know that I came in here to play some Ninja Turtles and I missed out because I started my journey too late. They were at the end of their event period when I started. But by the way, you don't have to start late because if you go into the description below, I have a link and that link will give you legendary characters such as Harvest Jack and a few epics. It will also have a code next to it that you can use, which will give you Tholan Foulbeard, who I've been maining this entire time. As you can see, he's one of my most advanced characters. So do go down there, get yourself some goodies, and join me in Raid Shadow Legends on a new account. But let's talk about the two cool new things that are here. The first one is actually Predator. So Predator has come to the Champion Pass. Now, I will say that if you want Predator, you need the Elite Pass. So you have to go into like the upgraded paid version to get him, but you do still get a ton of rewards by completing the daily challenges. And I would recommend you do that. I've been doing it the entire time and you can see you get all sorts of like, energy, you get avatars, you get bottles, you get level up stuff, you get, ascension materials, you get a turkey over here for a 4-star and things that are, very useful for growing your account. So whether or not you're a paid person on the accounts, still come in here and get yourself these reward tracks. But for those of you that want Predator, this is going to be your best way to get him is to do the Elite Pass. And let's talk a bit about what he does. So Predator is, first of all, absolutely incredible looking. He looks so cool and obviously perfectly timed because they just had the new Predator movie come out and I come from the old school days of the original Predator, so I love that he's in here. And if we look at his powers, first one, Wrist Blades, attacks one enemy and heals this champion by 30% of the damage dealt. So this is like having a life leech just built into your kit, which can help with your survivability. Also gains a passive effect whenever this champion successfully evades an enemy's skill and all of its accompanying effects counterattacks with this skill. So you can also, off turn heal yourself even more and do some damage by evading different things that the enemy may be sending your way. And as you level up this, it just gets more damage. Your second skill, Smart Disc level 1, attacks all enemies 2 times. After hitting the initially selected enemy, all their enemies will be hit in a random order. The damage received by the initially selected enemy will be increased by 75%, so a nice, extra bonus damage there. Each subsequent enemy hit following the initial will have less bonus damage, so it goes down as it goes across, the different enemies. Also, destroys enemies max HP by 30% of the damage dealt. So that's nice. So that way, if they're getting heals, they can't heal quite as much and recover as much. For the second hit, the damage received by the initially selected enemy would be increased by 15%, and each will go up by 15% up to 75. So this is, just much more damage. And then it ignores 15% of the target's defense if you're in Veil or Perfect Veil. You will see later how you get this on the champion. Damage is based on HP. And then as you leveled up, more damage and reduced cooldown. Then we pop over to Combo Stick Throw, level 1. Attack one enemy before attacking, places Hunter's Gaze debuff for 1 turn. Hunter's Gaze is basically like you will always hit them. Like you're going to ignore all the effects that they have that would stop you from hitting them. This debuff cannot be resisted if you're under Veil or Perfect Veil, so keep that in mind. If the attack kills an enemy, places Block Revive debuff on the target so you're not coming back up, and a Hunter's Gaze debuff on a random alive enemy for 1 turn. Hunter's Gaze cannot be resisted, again, if you're under Veil or Perfect Veil. If the attack does not kill an enemy, puts Perfect Veil buff on this champion and fills their turn meter by 50%, so they're going faster and faster. Perfect Veil, in case you don't know what that is, if I scroll down here, you'll see it here in just a moment. So there's 2 versions, Veil and Perfect Veil. They can't be targeted by the enemy. And if you're under a Veil, when you use an attack or a skill, it will take you out of that unless you have Perfect Veil. So when you use a skill and you have Perfect Veil, you do not remove the effect. And if you're under a Veil and an enemy does say an AoE attack, so they're not targeting you, but they're still hitting the party. If you're under Perfect Veil, you reduce that incoming damage by 15%. So even if you're not targeted and you're hit by AoE, you take less damage. So a really cool buff there. And so you'll get it here if you don't kill the enemy. But then also when you ascend to level 3, at the start of each round, you get Perfect Veil. So you don't necessarily have to use it on this skill to get it. You're going to get it by getting yourself to an Ascension 3. And then also, before this champion takes a turn, also has an initial 50% chance to evade an enemy's skill and all of its accompanying effects. This initial chance reduces to 0 after your first turn in a round. Whenever you kill an enemy, grants the champion a 20% chance to evade enemy skills and accompanying effects, and it stacks up to 60%. So what's really cool is between the Perfect Veil and this evade buff, you should be dodging or avoiding quite a bit of damage. And even if you take damage via AoE, you have a chance to evade it, or because of Perfect Veil, you're going to take 15% less damage. All the while, when you do hit the enemy, you're going to be filling up your health a bit more by having this 30% lifesteal, basically, or heal that you get for damaging on your champion. So a cool guy, cool effect here, and his aura is increased HP. As you saw down here, this scales off of HP. So a really interesting champion. And like I said, if you want him, you got to get into the Elite Pass and do your challenges. So do make sure you do that. But nonetheless, still do your regular challenges just to get the cool benefits that you get. So I'm a little sad that this is my free-to-play account and I won't be getting him, but he is super, super cool. However, there is a champion that we can all get, and I am more than stoked for. So let's talk about that and get out of the way. And that is a Xenomorph. If I like Predator, I like Aliens even more. And this film scared the bejesus out of me when I was a little kid. So this is a Xenomorph. It's the alien from the Aliens movie. And you can see it's already been going on for 4 days. So again, get into the game if you haven't already, so you can start getting your 7 days going here. And you get a bunch of gear on the way up the path to getting him. But once you get him, it's on day 7. This dude is just amazing. Look at this freaking model, you guys. Like, I'm sorry, coming from where I come from, as my kids call it, I came from the 1900s. This dude is nightmare inducing to me and I love it. I'm here for it. He is so cool. He's a dark elf in the game, which is kind of funny to me. But let's look at it. If you look at his skills, first one, Tail Stab, attacks an enemy, places a 5% poison debuff for 2 turns, and does 3 5% debuffs if it's a critical. So you're going to want to put some crit on this guy. Also places a Perfect Veil buff on this champion for 2 turns. So we talked about Perfect Veil before. Perfect Veil, again, will make it so you can't get targeted or you take less damage under AoE circumstances. And if you think about Aliens, if you're familiar with the films and shows, they stalk around, they hide in the shadows, and then they jump down and destroy everybody. And so many of the scenes are them casually coming down at first. And so the fact that they are also a Perfect Veil champion is very thematic, as is the poison. Like, they got it. They definitely nailed the concept here. Second skill, Infestation. Attacks an enemy before attacking, places stun and infest debuff on a target for 2 turns. Let's talk about those. Stun, pretty straightforward. You can't act for a turn. And then infest, whenever an enemy under infest dies, deals pure damage to other alive enemies. It's up to 50% of the enemy's max HP. However, if it was a boss character, it can only do up to 10% of their max HP, so you can't put like a 10 million, pure damage on everybody else. But basically, it's going to do damage to everyone else based on the max HP of whoever you're killing. And so it's just a good damage spread. Places a True Fear debuff on all other enemies for 1 turn. This debuff cannot be resisted if you're under Perfect Veil. And remember, you're on Perfect Veil after using skill 1. Revives this champion with 50% HP and 50% turn meter whenever an enemy under infest dies. So if you get infest on them, you die, then they die, you come back. They don't. So that's pretty cool. And then as far as what True Fear is, again, if you're unfamiliar, we'll swing down here really quickly. True Fear. So again, 2 versions. There's Fear and True Fear. When a champion with Fear debuff attempts to use a skill, there's a 50% chance it will not activate. If it's True Fear, there's a 50% chance it will not activate and they will lose their turn, and the skill they attempted will also go on cooldown. So a cool way to, have a chance to make their skill not go off and still put it on cooldown. Then we have Rip and Claw. Attacks one enemy 2 times, deals 15% more damage for each poison debuff. Again, if you're critting on this one, you're getting 3. Also places Perfect Veil buff on champion for 2 turns, so you get another chance to get that. And then finally, for your Ascension, whenever this champion is attacked, has a 25% chance to put a 5% poison debuff in the attacker for 2 turns. This debuff cannot be resisted or blocked if the attack is critical. If an enemy is under a poison debuff placed by this champion, decreases their defense by 20%, which is also very cool. So you're getting poison a couple different ways. You're getting it from your tail stab. You're also getting, if you ascend to level 3 and they attack you, you've got a chance to put it on them as well. So this right here for me is a great champion because I don't really have a super strong, dedicated poison champion. And so I am looking forward to making this dude it. And then plus he's got, like the True Veil and all those sorts of cool gimmicks and things. So I'm going to be building him. And my biggest thing now is, do I make him my first level 60 or do I keep going with Tholen Foulbeard? So yeah, I am excited. I've got, I think it was 3 more days. Yeah. So let's say Thursday. So on Saturday, I will be getting him Saturday night and I will be building the crap out of him. And then they do give you, these perception gear to go with them as you level up. So I'll see what that does for stats, see what the best way to build him is. But I am certainly looking forward to cranking through Xenomorph and having him join the total ranks. And then as you keep playing, it doesn't just end at day 7. You keep going through, and then at day 14, you get a perfect soul for your Xenomorph. So obviously you don't want to just stop at day 7 anyways. And then you move into phase 2. Phase 2 is earning points. And this comes in, after you do phase 1 for different things that you do, like logging in, spending energy, winning battles, and opening shards. These are all very, very simple things to do that you're going to be doing in your dailies anyways. And you can see as you go through the tracks down here, you get some just generically good rewards that we always want, energy, planarium points. I don't know why I had trouble saying that. So you get generically good things. So you get like energy, planarium points, etc. But then you also, you can see on the bottom path here for getting all your points, you get split souls. So you get the 3, the 4, and the 5. And you also get a couple of, legendary items for rings, your amulets, and your banners. So keep going through your track. Don't just stop once you get them, because you're going to get him just, fully maxed out over here with all the goodies by going through. And so I missed my turtles. I missed the Ninja Turtles, but I will not be missing my Xenomorph. He is coming home, or she, or they. I don't know what gender a Xenomorph is. They stick things in you and they burst out of your stomach. So whatever gender that is. The other thing I want to talk to you about today is, if you've been following the series, you know that I've been leveling up, etc. And so let me just give you a quick rundown of where I'm at on that. On my champions, I've been making sure to get everybody up to 3 stars. I almost am there on Harvest Jack. I didn't have as much time to farm the green dungeon yesterday as I wanted to, and so I don't quite have enough materials to convert over. So I need a few more of these, and then, a whole nother either one or batch of those. So he'll get there. He's just not there yet. And then the big thing is I've been working on getting Tholen over to level 60. So I need to break him through and upgrade his rank. And to do that, I need 5 5-star items, either turkeys or characters. Now, something that's awesome is right now there is a code that you can type in, and it is Hunt in Raid. I don't know how long that code lasts, but if you get in there right now, go click the link below, you get a 5-star turkey. You have no idea how helpful that is. And then there are other rewards today that gave me another one. So I actually only now need 2 more 5-star characters or, gifts for turkeys to come through, and I'll be able to get him ascended so he can get up to level 60. And you're going to see in my roster here what I've been doing. So you can see I've got 4 level 40 champions. I brought them to level 40 because this is before I got those other 2 turkeys, and so I was prepping for it. So now I can save a couple of these guys. But what I'll need to do is get 2 more of these. Was it 2 or 1? Let's double check that actually. Yeah, 2 more of these up to level 50. So I need to break, well, not, they don't have to get to level 50. I have to get them to 5 stars. And to do that, I need to have 4 of a 4-star, either champion or turkeys. And so right now, because of the gifts we've been getting, I've got 2. Plus I've already got 1 more set up. So I need 1 more level 4 to get one of these guys ascended up to rank 5. And then you can see it down here, I've been getting a bunch of 3 stars going, and they're getting ready to go up to 4 stars. So you can see I need 1 more 3-star champion, and I can make another one of these 4 stars. So I've been working on getting my Tholen up there. He's gonna be my first 60, I think, actually, because he's really good for farming right now, and I've already got his masteries done. So makes the most sense for me in the long term. And I've just been leveling characters, getting them ready to go, so that way I can keep progressing forward. But this will be good because I can get him to level 60, and then I can work on my Xenomorph. Because I'm going to work on my Xenomorph. So this is why I've put a lot of my focus. And the gear still isn't great. I've been just kind of upgrading it via the dailies that you have to do. You have to do 4 upgrade attempts. So I've just been doing that casually as I go along. Eventually there'll be places I can get better gear, in which case I will focus far more heavily into it. Right now I'm just taking what is the best at the moment. So that's kind of how I've been approaching that. So a little bit of a split. I go into the dungeons, you know, on the right days to get the colored, you know, bottles that I need. I'll come in here, go in the dungeons, and like, so like right now I've got 7 hours left. I could farm out some more of this green. I don't know if I have time. It's Thanksgiving in the United States, so I've got a lot to do today. But then like Friday, I was farming out the Force Keep to get Tholen up to his 3 stars. I'll need to, you know, farm out the Xenomorph, obviously, when he comes out, because I want him at 3 stars, like right away. And everything else, I basically just farm out when the missions take place. And that's the other thing I focus on, is I try to clear these out a bit every day. And so today I'll do this, get 2 masteries done. And then, you know, I'll come over here and start working on win a total of 5 4 stars, 5 stars, 6 star artifacts from stage 5 and up. You know, so these are pretty good to just throw into your auto battles in. And I'll be working on that, you know, over the next couple of days. So it'll be interesting when I get into the next video of how much I've cleared through this. Is Tholen 6 star? Hopefully he will be. You know, where's my Xenomorph? What am I doing with him? But that's really been the progress. And then I don't really focus too much on these tournaments. They are what they are. If I get stuff out of them, I get stuff out of them, but these are going to be more of a longer term goal. Like as I progress on my account and I get to the point that I can actually clear these things out, I'll focus on those, you know, quite a bit more. Oh, look, I think I need to check in. Let's see. Yep, I got to check in. And also, again, reminder, I do have a guild. And so if you'd like to join it, it is the Bear Pack. You can see us up here. So if you join, come in, join the guild. You know, I'd love to have you in here. As a matter of fact, I should probably advertise a bit better, but would love to have us play together. So don't be afraid to join me. And with that, remember, I do have that link below. Click it so you can get the same start I had, which to show you is going to be Tholen Foulbeard with a code down below. You get Harvest Jack just as you start. And then as you level, you get Togor, you get Vergis, and you get one other, which I'm about to get because it happens at level 40. And you can see I just hit level 39. So pretty soon I'll get that final epic into my account. But there you have it. Get excited, join, because you have a Xenomorph. And he looks awesome, a great poison character. Build him, have fun with him, and then if you do the epic pass, you will be able to get Predator, and I'll be jealous because I'm on a free-to-play account on this one, and I would love to have Predator, but it is what it is. You don't have to be jealous, though. You can do the epic pass or elite pass and get him as well. And that's it, my friends. I hope that if you're watching this and you just came out of Thanksgiving for the US, you had a wonderful Thanksgiving. Otherwise, a wonderful set of holidays to come. Join me in Raid Shadow Legends, and until our next video, please take care of yourselves.